What's up YouTube? So today I'm gonna do an ownership talk or the ownership review of my beloved motorcycle, the BMW S1000 XR. So it's been around 20 days by now after buying this motorcycle, and I've clocked something like 2000 kilometers, taking it for 2 trips, going for another trip next week. You might be thinking that what the hell this guy is doing. Yeah, I'm just like that 10-year-old kid who got the first cycle, the dream cycle in their life, and he cannot get off with that dream property. So I'm just like that. I just take this bike, I take this bike every day out and I ride around, still feel like I am living in my dreams. Yes, I am. I know that it's been a decade-old dream of buying it. You might have seen that video, the intro video where I talk about that. So yeah, after that I keep riding the bike for all my personal travels. So 2 done, 1 more to go that I know, and many more to come. So let me talk about the few things which I learned in my past 2000 kilometers as an owner. So I thought I'll share you all these things. By the way, this one is a BMW S1000 XR M Sport Edition. So there are 3 variants for this motorcycle: the standard variant, the Pro, and the XR. So the differences are, first of all, you don't get the standard variant in India. The Pro was there, and between the Pro and this M Sport Edition you have a lot of difference. Basically, first of all, it's around 5 lakhs more on this, but you get equally valued equipment. You get an extra pouch on this one, and you get an endurance seat. So this is an M seat which is much more comfortable than the regular seat, and you get an endurance chain. So according to BMW, I think you have to only service the chain once in 10,000 kilometers, but I don't think it works in our country. But until now I don't have an issue, like just 2000 kilometers I haven't touched the chain. And you have a lighter battery, and yeah, you get this paint scheme. So those are the major differences when it comes to the M package. So basically I honestly love the fact that I got to pick this one, the M package, than the Pro variant, because the Pro variant had a seat which had a scoop which was not so comfortable for long ride, but this one was like just nice. I was riding it and I didn't felt like stopping anywhere for anything, just that for the fuel breaks I'll be stopping, that's all. Otherwise I've been riding it continuously on the highways, and so that's the difference between the Pro and the M Sport. And then we have the bigger brother of this one, the M1000 XR, which is altogether a different beast. By the way, this can be tuned to a 190 or a 200 horses. This comes with 165 horses standard. We can retune the ECU if we want. The M1000 XR is 200 plus bhp, so that thing is hell crazy fast. So you can actually get this thing much closer to that one in terms of performance, just that we have to be ready to accept it, or we have to be ready to save our balls from that horses. So let's admire the looks. So I've been a big fan of the symmetric headlight of the first generation XR. So my dream started from there. Like always I love the way how it looked, because you know, even the RR also had an asymmetric fairing on the left. Through the right side the air goes in and the air goes out, so it's kind of an air cooling working. So that's why they have an asymmetric fairing, and it became so iconic that even many people were not able to adjust the fact that BMW started coming with a symmetric variant of motorcycles. So then this one, actually in my opinion, I'll say that my love goes for the symmetric headlight, but this also looks very nice. According to me, I'll say that if this beak could have been black color, it would have been had a little more muscle feel, but still I love it how the way it looks. It's a taller bike, it's a super taller bike, and it has got a big road presence. Some people have told that it looks like a white multistrada, because people are actually used to seeing the multistradas a lot and they get confused with the white multistradas.
Hello guys, here's the pampered look of our new XR. It has gone a spa, and a big shout out to Turbo Car Care for doing this amazing job. Let me give you a bit more details about the work done and about Turbo Car Care. They are professional detailers and they have outlets in Bangalore and Mysore, and they have done good work on my previous motorcycles as well. They have used high quality German brand PPF and ceramic coating which has self-healing, hydrophobic and high gloss features. Turbo Car Care has an expert team trained for this in Bangalore, and they have done a job next to impossible. Meanwhile, they have a new store in Kalyan Nagar as well. More details in the description, you can check it out.
So it comes with let me confirm, it comes with a 17-inch wheel in the front. So they are all road spec tires, a 190 section in the rear, and it just does the magic. It gives you the right grip when that 165 horses start pulling you in. So, and that's the 999cc, the RR engine that we have seen, but little detuned. So basically with this liter class, BMW has 3 variants: the R, the XR and the RR. The R is a more naked variant, so you have to be, you'll have a lot of fun on that, man. Because lesser weight, you can pull wheelies, you can, I mean, ride it on the streets. But the RR is on the other side. It's a track bike, more committed, full power. You ask for anything, you get out of the bike. And this one is like a track bike which has left for a touring. I feel that. So altogether, that's the kind of proportion, and it's a huge bike. You see that it's a huge bike, and I love it. I love it the way, even though I booked the black one, and when I got the white one, I was thinking that whether I'd be loving the white one or not. But you know, after looking at it, I completely fallen in love with the bike. As I said, it has more comfortable seat, so no complaints on that, because you know the tank capacity is I think around 15 plus liters, and the tank range with my riding style is like somewhere between 220 kilometer to 270 kilometers. So I don't feel like stopping until then. And also I've been riding for more than a decade. I mean, literally, my endurance is very high on normal bikes. Even single cylinder bikes, I do 600 to 1000 kilometers a day. I can do that. I'm not boasting myself, but you know, that's the kind of endurance that you develop riding motorcycles for years. So when it comes to inline 4, taller bike, comfortable, this kind of a feel, then I feel like, yeah, I don't have to stop at all. But yes, we have to hydrate ourselves, then we have to flush it off as well. Yeah, and then you see the Acra Pro, which the branded Acra Pro, which exhaust from BM itself. The only unproportionate thing with this motorcycle that I see is the catalytic converter. It looks very huge, and that's the thing which hits the taller humps in a country. So that's a little scary. And coming on to the race section, that looks really nice. You know, from the back it looks a bit of a Himalayan side when it is running. The tail light and the integrated indicators looks like Himalayan. So one guy was chasing me when I was in Kerala, and he was asking what kind of Himalayan is this, and I told that it's a BMW, it's an XR. So first he thought it's a GS, then that's why he was joking. In the sense, it was a 310 GS which was modified with a bigger kit. Let's look a little bit closer. So it has got a keyless entry, so we have a small space over here to keep the key as well if you want, but I don't do that because I'll forget. So one press, this will come alive, and it's a typical switch gears that you see with the BMW all motorcycles over here. So, and there's a nice branding XR over here to show that you are riding the XR. And yeah, let me put it into the normal screen. This is the screen which I use almost all the time, but you know, it's for the track purpose mostly because we have lean angle sensor, the braking feel, and the traction control. I don't really root on the traction control, but you know, the braking and the lean angle is good to see. So let me just exit from this. So this will be the screen that you see with any bike if you turn on any RR or the GS or the XR. So you press this button and then you will see the total it's 2914 kilometers. So that means I'll be clocking 3000 kilometers today. I'm so sorry to skip 1000 kilometers. Yeah, it's time and kilometers are running faster. So yes, it has got all things, man. I mean, it's a state of the art motorcycle from BMW, so you don't have to really ask for a feature in this. So 2 trip meters and all the calculations, the lean angle sensor, traction control, braking, everything you have, the wheelie control, stopping control, everything. And by the way, it comes with riding modes. That's what you wanted to know. So when you press the mode button, you will see that there is rain, road, dynamic, and dynamic pro. So the rain is less power and more ABS, more traction control. Your guardian angel is there to save you all the time. And with the rain road mode, you get a little more power, I think 70% of the power, and you get a better throttle response. Guardian angels are still good, but not as working as in the rain mode. And dynamic mode, you get everything, the full power, full throttle response, and you know, it feels very good to ride. And the intervention of ABS is less, traction control is less. And you put on to dynamic pro, I think there's a little more fueling going on because you hear that pops and crackles from the Acra. Let's fire it up. It's not insanely loud, even though it's a Acra Pro which exhaust. So let's hear it. Yeah, I'm gonna give a little more throttle, unlike any other motorcycle, because it's already warm. Damn. I don't want to attract too many people, and I don't want to do that in the neutral. Let's push it to the first gear and launch it. It's a tall motorcycle, you know, it's a tall motorcycle. So this thing can pull a wheelie anytime that you have the wheelie control. You can switch it off, you can tune it if you are a beginner doing wheelies. You hear that pops and crackles. So the wheelie can be tuned accordingly, and then you can hold the wheelie like that. I'm not going to do that on this kind of a road, but certainly I'll show you the power. Comes with a bi-directional quick shifter and works so smooth, man. Yeah, the front wheel was a little bit on the air. I can feel that because the front suspension lift, and then I get the feel that there's nothing much to do with steering, so I can feel that. It gives a lot of fun and a lot of satisfaction when you ride this motorcycle. Couple of reasons, the engine, it's super fun. It's an inline 4, so technically it's the most saner and equally brutal, but not as brutal as the V4. It's most comfortable and forgiving engine that one can buy, the inline 4. Oh man, the pops and crackles, it's so good. It happens only in the Dynamic Pro, so I think there's a little bit of fuel, 2 drops of fuel just going there to satisfy you. And that's a very wrong statement. 2 drops going to satisfy you. What the hell? Oh boy. Oh boy. It's too much of fun, man. It's very nice. So that's what I was telling. So when you are in the Dynamic Pro mode or in the Dynamic mode, you get all the horses. So it pulls wheelie easily. Just turn off the traction control and put the wheelie settings to the low, and it gives you a nice lift, and it holds there. Nothing you have to do, just hold there, that's all. So got a lot of horses to keep you engaged out of the city, that means out of the highway. And when it comes to the city, and I mostly use the road mode, the road mode is much comfortable. It's much comfortable than any of the saner modes that I've used on later classes. By the way, even though this is an RR in a different makeup, this doesn't have that full potential of the RR. So I believe the RR will do 170 plus in the first gear. This one can do 125 or 130 in the first gear. That itself explains that the first 3 gears are a bit shorter for your comfortable way of handling things when it is not high speed, and when you have to go to the high speed, the 4, 5 and the 6 will help you in the highway. So on the highway I was comfortably doing 160 to 180, just cruising, even though it's so illegal in our country to do that, but still that's the potential of the bike that you can do, and it can go up a speed of 275 km/h, and I believe that you will be able to do very nicely. I've done something like a 240 or a 50, that's all. But I don't get that kind of a road so easily, and this can intimidate you at times because this climb speeds so quick. With the Hondas and all, I was like, okay, I can see that the bike picks up a bit late and then it goes. So I don't say that they are late, I'll say that this is a bit early to 200s and 250s. That's the reason why it feels a little intimidating when we pull the throttle. And the performance side, I'm completely happy, but I cannot really compare this with the V4 engine because the V4 is something different. But the thing is, yeah, let me come here. You see, it's the 6th gear. I mean, I know that I explained this to you in every inline 4 video. It's at the 45. Let's 40. Slowly bring it in. Slowly bring it in. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Now we are on to business. Now we are on. Yeah, that's it. 40 to 275 km/h in single gear. That's the advantage you get with an inline 4 liter class 165 horses BMW. That's something very nice to ride. And let's keep the engine apart and talk about the other things. So the handling on the motorcycle is like exceptional. Exceptional means exceptional. This doesn't feel like a later class. The center of gravity of the motorcycle is very low, and you will feel like you're riding a 500cc bike. That's all. I really don't even feel like I'm riding a 600 because I updated from a CBR 650R, which was technically 220 kg, and this bike also weighs equally to that, but this feels so planted and so easy to ride because of the weight management. I never felt that the CBR was a taller, heavier motorcycle, but when it came to this was taller and this is taller, and you never feel the height. Once you are rolling, you never feel the height. You know, that guy is enjoying. This is what I'm doing after riding the bike. You just keep riding it, feel the air, cold air through the seeping through the jacket, and inline four-wheel, man. I was talking about weight management. So this is so comfortable to ride, and it's a longer bike. You might get used to it pretty easy. You don't have to worry that you are riding it like a car. Only thing is you cannot really go to that part of the road so much, because if this has to go across a bad patch of road, then it will be difficult, because this is not meant for that. Or otherwise you have to throw off this road or track based tire, and then you have to go with a more 50-50 tire. I don't really say the off-road spec tire, because if you change the tire, I'm pretty sure that you can actually do cross country on this. But I'm 100% sure that if you get a slush, then your tires will be cake, and happy birthday to you, and you have to eat the cake. So that's the whole idea of taking this motorcycle off the road if you have to. But on the road it feels confident, it feels so much energetic. You don't feel the weight at all. And of course, I'm a short guy. I don't feel that I'm riding a tall bike. Do we have a little bit of open road? Let's see that. No, we don't have. That is smooth. So it comes with a lot of technology. You have cruise control, and which is very accurate. There is no adaptive cruise control because this doesn't come with a radar like what you see on a multi V4. You might be hearing a lot of multi V4 comparison in this video, because I've been riding that motorcycle extensively before this, and I've ridden the KTM 1290 Adventure S as well. So these are the real competitors for this bike. So that's the reason why I'll be introducing those bikes in between. So yes, there is no radar system on this, so you have to manage it, and the way the cruise control is getting disengaged when you apply the clutch or the brake or the rear brake is phenomenal. It's so accurate. I have seen few other motorcycles which cannot do this so accurately. It's because the sensors are not so good on that one, or probably the sensors are so good on this one. And see, things which save you on this motorcycle is the adaptive suspension. There is no physical adjustment to this. You just use this button and it goes to the road mode or the dynamic mode. So if you think you are riding a little faster, it goes to the dynamic. It will feel a little harder when on the pavement, and bad roads also you will feel the same, because it is onto a harder setting, so you can feel it from my voice, right? But it's so good over the corners, and it is so supportive when you are riding fast. But almost all the time I'll be putting on to the road mode, which I feel is like the touring setup. Immediately it changed. Immediately it's like, okay, now the bike is stabilized and the suspension is doing its job. On the other side, if you have to go for the track, just put it on the dynamic so that you get everything on the road. That's what you want when you go out on the track. So this is a part track bike. That's what I said. It's a track bike left for a touring. So any day you can tour and go back to the track where it came from, and you can do some laps and embarrass few little classes and then come back. If you don't believe what I said just now, you just go and watch Cuban Rider. I've been watching that guy for a very long time. He's a very, very, very nice rider, and exceptionally brilliant, and he rides an M1000 as well. So he just embarrassed many other later class motorcycles. So I have seen that only the Panigala V4s are the only one who really gives competition to him on the track. So a touring motorcycle giving competition to super sport on the track, that's the whole feel. There's a whole dynamics that you get out of this. So the suspension feels so nice and so good for the touring, and when it comes to the braking, I don't have to really call for that, because it's a Brembo unit. You have the best in the world to save you here. and the way the ABS works, the intervention is so good. I really like it. When it comes to the Dynamic Pro mode, I love the fact that the ABS intervention is less, so you have a bit more control. You know that ABS will be getting activated late, but you can turn it off as well. The traction control, the ABS, the wheelie control, everything, you can turn it off, and you can have the raw bike, the 999cc, and just live your dreams. I just stopped to check my mobile. We have an app here in the console which we can pair, but I don't like to use that. You know, even though we hear that much sound from the Acura, it doesn't sound so loud from outside. We have a dB there, we can remove it. That's the point. And I forgot two things to mention about the M Sport. So the M Sport comes with forged wheels, which is lighter, and also the M Sport has a GPS lap timer. So that means you can actually click and lap time it. So basically a track bike feature, but you get it on this one. That's the additional two more features that comes with the M Sport edition. And as I mentioned, there are ground clearance problems, but there are no heating problems, at least. I love it because there is considerable amount of heat, but you know, it gets dissipated when you're rolling. You don't have to worry about it. That means that some motorcycle shuts off by itself. Even I remember that the S1000 RR, which I've ridden a few years back, got terribly upset and it shuts off in Bangalore traffic. I've seen that. And let's look at the price tag and all those ownership things. By the way, this motorcycle is actually on road coming to around 34.5 lakh on like bone stock. It's a huge price, I know. As I mentioned, there is no standard variant available for this bike in India, and we have to buy the Pro variant, which is I think 29 to 30, and the M Sport is 34 to 35, and the M1000 is actually I think around 50 lakh. So it's a pricey affair. You can buy many other motorcycles for this cost. For example, you can buy a Panigale V4, but you won't be so comfortable riding it, just like how you ride this one. But you have the comfortable seating of the Panigale V4, which is the Multistrada V4S, which I've ridden a lot. So I had this confusion whether to go with the Multi or the KTM 1290 Adventure S. You know, finally I ended up in this one because if you love the inline 4 character, you need to buy this one. There are no other bike which can satisfy you except the Versus, but the Versus is like the Innova of motorcycle. It just can't go straight. I mean, I don't really say that the Innova cannot do a corner, but you know, the Versus cannot do that. That's the point. So I was riding the Versus and this one back to back, and I got to know that this thing is like hell different. So yeah, I had to eliminate the Versus way before I'm actually bringing back that bike to the consideration. But no hates on that. With the price point, it does really good job. It's like almost as comfortable as this motorcycle, but just goes straight. So that's why I call the Versus as the vertical sisters, you know, the 650 and the 1000. So coming back to the XR, so this is not as powerful as the 1290S or the Multi V4, but the beauty is with the twin cylinder or the V4 configuration, the inline 4 handles you better. In the sense, if you are not so much aggressive all the time while you ride the bike, that means you have a saner side also. Just like how you ride like this, and you have to just be like invisible and then just cut through the highway traffic. You can do that. But if I'm in the Multi, then I have to put it to the 4th gear. I'm pretty sure that it is in the 4th gear, but you know, it pulls a wheelie even in the 4th gear. I mean, you can't do that. Try doing that. So that's the difference. You feel a lot of comfort riding, and the fuel economy is like 15 to 20 kilometer per liter. If you are building in 160 to 180, you'll get something like 12 or 14, or if you are going like this, then probably you'll get 20. And the tank range is not bad, like 200 plus kilometers. Still you have to stop. It's not like a GS. I couldn't really settle on the GS as well, because you know, I'm an RR guy, but yeah, I want the comfort of the GS, but you know, still not the character of the GS. And of course this cannot go off-roading. So if you plan to go off-roading, I'll say that you have to buy a mid capacity or a smaller capacity bike, because you know, even when I was having the Multi V4 with me, I was not so comfortable riding that bike out on the fields. And many owners whom I know, they'll say that see, you can do that. It's all about the skill. Once you start learning the skill, you can do that. Multi V4 is like a little more top heavy motorcycle when it goes out of the road. You have to be a little more skillful. I have a Ducati, by the way. I ride a Ducati, it is a sled, which is my off-roading bike. It's a scrambler, but I take it for exclusively for my off-roads and my like trips which are unplanned. Like go anywhere, I take that bike because it can go anywhere literally. So multi is not like that. Two things: one, it's little heavy-headed thing, and second thing, if you fall from that bike, you know it's going to be hell costlier affair. So that's one reason why majority of the owners are not taking that bike for off-roading, you know, and that makes sense. You don't want to pay a lot when you fall from a bike like that, because the tank is the one which gets hit faster. And with the 1290, I have never seen anyone who's taking it so much off-road other than the KTM guys who ride it like that. I'm not trying to make fun of them, you know, because especially the owners, you know, because it's a dream. Like maybe people can say that I'm not riding this in the way it has to be. But you know, the 1290, I've never seen an owner taking it like that, except the fact that I've seen the Austrian Odyssey from KTM itself. There are people like just belt the bike like that. So I've seen that if you're so skillful and you're on a 1290, you just go to Austria and do that kind of shit, and it's so much fun. But you know, we don't get the spoke variant in India. So again, 1290 is not a cut for me. But 1290 was like in my mind till the last moment I picked this up. Like that's the last bike which got eliminated from my list. And you know, service is done once in 10,000 kilometers, and I did my first service in 1,000 kilometers, so it costed I think 10,000 or 11,000 around. So again, a little costlier affair when it comes to the maintenance when you compare a Triumph or a Honda, because you know, there are a lot of bikes. You can buy an Africa Twin, you can be happy with that. It's a hell reliable bike. If you get the DCT, you'll forget how to shift gears. You might have to go for a class again. I'm just kidding again, man. I love that DCT. I've been using that, but you know, when you get so much used to the DCT, you feel like, oh no, I'm not coming back from that universe. And the Versus is something which I always love to go out on the highway. And then the Tiger 1200, which I'm not so much satisfied with, because you know, it feels a little heavy, and like I was a bit more scared on that bike to go off-road, in the sense if I fall, then I feel that I'll be breaking a lot of things on that bike. I know a few people like Chaco and all who are doing insane amount of things on that bike. So yeah, we have to push the skill limits a lot on that bike to go off-road, but on the road it's really good. It's a 3-cylinder, so you have a different feel. But I really miss that whistling sound from the Triumph, man, because that whistling sound used to be that signature for Triumph, and now I don't get that. And now it feels like a parallel twin. I feel bad for that. When it comes to this, things are done faster than it was doing on a 650. I shouldn't do that, I know, but you know, if you see a gap, you can take it. So most of the time you'll be rooting for the second gap that you see on the road. It's a risky affair. I apologize for what I did. I know the capacity of this bike. I know how easily this can handle the situation. I've been riding it for long. Don't do that on the road. Do these filtering safely. But I was telling that you have to plan for the second or the third gap and then plan accordingly. But you know, it takes some amount of time. It's an art, the art of filtering on Indian highways. So that's my take on the BMW S1000 XR, which I picked up a while ago, and I'm truly happy to own this motorcycle. Been a dream, and always a dream, and I'm dreaming. So I hope this video is helpful for you, and if you have any doubts on the XR, do let me know in the comment section. I'm more than happy to help you out. So yeah, see you in the next video.